Ashley. Ooh, Ashley. Hey, Casimir.
Oh.
You and me.
Hey. Anyways, hi everyone. Welcome to another podcast episode with Dose of Ashley, and I'm your host, Ashley Casimir. And today I have my little spellman sister, Micah. But anyways, today we have a really good topic today. I feel like she came up with this topic, and I was like, okay, like this is a great topic to talk about. So today we're going to talk about mental health. And so I think we should just get right into it. Let's get right into it. So I have one question, or a couple questions. Mm-hmm. But why is mental health important to you, personally?
Okay, so I just want to reintroduce myself. Hello, my name is Micah Cross. I'm a sophomore biology major from Memphis, Tennessee, attending Spelman College. Mental health is important to me because mental health connects to a lot of things, I realize. Mm-hmm. So mental health can connect to, your own personal challenges. Like, it can inhibit growth, I feel like. Mm-hmm. However, I want to clarify, mental health and the struggles we have is growth. So put that out there. But it connects to your relationships, how you interact with people, your studies, your spirituality. It connects to a lot of things. Like, if you're not right within, then it shows throughout. And that's why it's a very big deal, especially in college, mental health. Like, I feel like it goes down, like, especially your first year of college, because it's a very big change. I remember my freshman year, between the big changes, my family, sun was setting early, it was very, very hard. But that goes for all grades. Like, when you're stressed about things, your mental health goes down. That's why I say it's all connected. Yeah. Because if somebody upsets you, that can send you, down.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, for mental health, I feel like when I was even before I came to college, I feel like a lot of people that go to college out of state. That's a thing as well. You're not close with your family members. You're not living in the same household, things like that, and that puts a toll on you sometimes. So when I was first going to my freshman year, I had I didn't know I had anxiety until that year. Like, that year, I literally had to go to a hospital because I had anxiety attacks. And like when you're going through a new chapter of life, it's like you have the unexpected, you know what I mean? So you're like, what happens next? And it just creates a irrational sense of anxiety. But I would definitely agree with what you're saying. I feel like mental health does affect everything around you. Like, personally, last year when I was going through a lot, it affected, you can tell my energy was just not there. You know what I mean? You can tell, even my academics, it wasn't A1 because it's oh, I'm dealing with this. So you don't have the, what is it called? You don't even have
the motivation. That's one thing I struggled with a lot my freshman year, and I used to beat myself up for it because I would be like, why? I would be like, you need to get up out of bed. Why are you being lazy? Mm-hmm. I physically could not get out of bed sometimes. And I'd beat myself up while laying down and be like, well, you should be up. You should be doing this. You should be doing that. There's this event. You should be going to this. You should be going to that. But it was I was stuck in bed. Right. And to your point of saying, oh, you just mentioned something. When you said coming to college and going out of state, I feel like also in these communities, college communities with your friends, some of them become very close, like your family. Okay. I feel like people's mental health bounces off of each other too. Mm-hmm. So I know sometimes people have told me before, you really brought my mood up, and look, I don't even realize it, but they're during this thing, you helped me bring my mood up. You helped me really come out of my funk. And also, I have friends who have really pulled me out of some really hard situations. And that's why leaning on each other as college students is a very big thing, because I'm somebody who wants to be oh, I don't need the help. I'll be fine. I don't want people to know what I'm going through, because I don't want to seem weak. I don't want to seem like I'm bothering somebody with my issues. But it's a really big thing, because everybody's going through it. Right. And that's what I realize sometimes, the most powerful moments are when you're I really don't feel well, and somebody opens up to you and you're able to open up as well. And now we both sitting crying on the floor, but it's out. Yeah. And now I have somebody to lean on. Yeah. And that makes a very big difference. So leaning on the people that you trust and leaning on the people who have made it clear that they're there for you really, really, really makes a difference in your mental health.
And I can agree with that. I literally just recently went through this, you know what I mean? I was in a basketball, like I said before, and if I didn't have that friend pull me out and become get into these environments, going to church has really helped. Today I really I just became leader of the chapel today, and I feel today if I wasn't if I wasn't introduced to this friend or like God didn't put this person in my life, I don't know where I would be, I feel like. And sometimes I feel like my mental health was like, it was deep. It was down. It was down to the ground, honey. And I was just like, what can I do to help myself? Which goes into the next question. What do you do to help yourself when you're feeling down?
So I definitely need to do better with like prioritizing my mental health, because I tell people all the time, like, oh, you need to prioritize yourself, make sure you're taking care of yourself. But it often feels like there's not enough time in the day to do that. Like sometimes I put off myself because I'm like, I need to get so much done. It doesn't even matter what I do. Like, so don't want to get into that. Yeah, like sometimes I literally forget to eat, y'all. Like it's very bad. Like it'll be like 5:00 and I'm like, dang, I have not had a meal yet. And I want to bring in, I had someone who is very close to me now because of a project we're doing. She introduced, it's called 236, and that's essentially at least 2 meals a day, at least 3 bottles of water, and at least 6 hours of sleep. And that gives you like a goal to like, okay, let me just reach this. And also during the week, sending in this was my mental health thing for the day. So like she was like, get a cup of coffee, take a nap, maybe like take extra time to like hang out with a friend, just something each day. And it doesn't have to be a lot. Like literally, like getting a cup of coffee or making yourself a cup of coffee does not take a lot of time, but it just makes you feel better. Like, okay, I did this for myself. So that's one thing I do. And also just trying to be more patient with myself. Because I am somebody who can be very hard on myself. So just making sure that like, because I feel like I have a lot of grace with others, but I don't have grace with myself. So making sure I do that. And also just remembering what makes me happy, patting myself on the back for the small things. Like, hey, babes, like you finished that assignment 2 hours before it was due. Hey.
Period. It was done though.
So yeah, small things like that. And also just spending time with people. That circles back into just community is a very big thing in mental health. So
I agree 100%. For me, like something I really want to get into is like meditating. I was meditating yesterday. Like I was like, a woman was teaching me how to meditate, and I feel like that was so relieving because I'm the type of person like my brain runs like over and over and over and over like wild, and I feel like for me, those exercises that we did was really helpful. So I know definitely for me, what helped my mental health is just meditating, praying, working out sometimes. Like working out for me, like sometimes when you're angry, you want to run that off.
Those endorphins make a difference. Like even if you're not angry, just like even like running on the treadmill for 10 minutes makes you feel accomplished. Like you're like, okay, like I worked out today. Like I walk around like I just did a full body workout because I ran 10 minutes on the treadmill. Right. And it produces things in your brain. Like it's all science, being a STEM major. It's all science. Like sometimes I have to break things down for myself and be like, okay, like what just made me upset? Like I have to really think, because it's very easy to just get into like, oh, I don't feel good, and just kind of sit in it. Sit in your feelings, but never stay there. That's one thing my mom tells me. You can sit in it, feel it, but don't stay there because
life moves on.
Hey. And yeah, so just like sometimes like it's like my own little like meditation thing. I don't do well with meditating all the time, but just like stopping and being like, okay, why did my mood just change? And I'll be like, oh, I haven't eaten. Or somebody just tried to shift my energy, but I'm not going to allow them to do that. Right. Just kind of making that bounce back and making like a conscious choice to prioritize your feelings and make sure you're checking in on yourself.
And on top of that, you're the only person that can create your own happiness. So you can't let that person that literally wants to disrespect you, that wants to make you mad, that wants to affect your mental health. That's something I also struggle with, trying to just be happy for myself, or just be happy because I create that energy for myself. Don't let people around you, because there's a lot of negativity in the world, a lot. Like it's a lot. And I feel like you have to like sit in your own little space and be like, okay, I'm happy for me. I'm happy what I'm doing. I'm happy just in general. You know what I mean? But anyways, let's get to the next question. So since we're both women, let's talk about men for a little bit. Let's talk about men.
Yeah.
So what's the stigma about mental health for men?
So I feel like this has been repeated over and over and over again, but the stigma that men are not supposed to like have mental health. Like it's supposed to be like, oh, that's a man, he's good. Right. And it goes a lot deeper than that. Like it's not just like, oh, like people don't care about mental health. Like it's literally a societal thing. That's one reason, okay, this is kind of off topic, but that's one reason I like anthropology so much, because it looks into identities and like how social constructs have kind of changed the way we think. So the idea that like there are gender roles, and personally me, I feel like you choose your role. Like you don't have to you don't have to be in a certain position, or you don't have to think a certain way just because you are a woman, just because you're a man, just because you're non-binary. Be whatever you want to be. Okay. And with that, like the basic man identity, or the basic idea of a man's mental health identity, I think I'm saying that right, is just that like there should be no emotion, there should not be any type of like
sadness, or
sadness. And then like even like with like community, sometimes like people saying like, oh, like what's an example?
What, you're a man, so
yeah, or like oh, like why are you like venting to me, like
oh
like
wow.
just like it's just things like, I'm trying to think how to explain it correctly, but just the idea that they're not supposed to have emotions. And I feel like that's a reason why there's a lot of issues around like, oh, like men do this to me, men do that to me. That's because they sometimes do not know how to express their emotions.
And you know what, I can agree.
Like when you are conditioned to not have any type of emotion, then when it's time to have emotion, it is very hard. You cannot unlearn habits within a day.
So how do we help them? What are some like points? How can we help them? Like, how do we, especially like Black men, you know what I mean? We're in the Black community, so like how do we help make them feel comfortable to like, hey, talk to us, express yourself. Like, I'm not here to judge you.
I feel like it's difficult to just kind of be like, oh, talk to me.
Yeah.
Because it's sometimes hard to open up, but just reminding people that you are there for them.
Yeah.
Like, even if it's not a deep conversation, just constantly reminding somebody like, hey, if you ever need to talk, I'm here. Making them feel valid for any emotions. Like, if they're having a bad day, like, look, I get it. Take your time. If you need to talk, I'm here. If not, one of the strongest things I think you can say is, if you ever need to talk, I'm happy to listen. Like, just letting somebody know that they have you as a resource, because bottling things up and trying to condition yourself, because humans, we are meant to feel. We are meant to have emotions. Emotions make up a big part of us. And even when you don't think you're feeling, you are feeling. We are constantly feeling. And one group of people should not have to not feel, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So just being aware that we all have emotions, and if any men are watching this, you have the right to have emotions, and you have valid emotions at that. Don't ever let anybody make you feel like you do not have valid emotions. This goes for anybody. Your emotions are always valid. I don't care if you got mad because somebody looked at your pizza the wrong way. You have that emotion for a reason, and you can have it. And also keep in mind that your emotions and the way you treat people is a very big deal as well, because just because you are having a bad day does not mean that somebody else has to have a bad day. You control your own emotions and how you project them and how you make others feel based on that.
Oh, yeah.
But the original question was how to help them. I think just being someone to lean on. If you are somebody who, like, this is your thing. I'm not somebody who is very, I think, like, what's the word? Like, I'm not the type to like
someone's gonna come to you like, hey, like, I want to.
No, I mean, like, no, I mean, I'm a comforter. Like, I will give you a hug. I will.
Yeah, you
rub you on the look, cry on my shoulder. But like, just like, I'm not somebody like let me think. Like, I'm somebody who is more, I think, like, personal, rather than putting up, like, let's say, like, holding like a giant event, saying like, men, or no, like, Black men need hugs. Hold on, I'm rambling. Wait.
No, keep
going. I'm rambling. Wait. But just like, I feel like, okay, so some people on Spelman campus like have taken the initiatives to hold like AUC wide events. I love that for them. However, I feel I'm someone who is more like personable with my intentions. So I will like tell like people face to face this and that, but I don't think I would ever step out of my comfort zone and just be like, unless it needs to be had. I hope you cut this out because I'm just really rambling.
It's okay. This is a conversation, baby.
I ramble a little bit, but basically what I'm trying to say is.
Do you want me to? Okay. Anyway,
basically what I'm trying to say is just advocating for each other, because sometimes you have to give a voice to people who don't know
how to use their voice.
Yeah, how to use their voice.
Yeah, I mean, I agree 100%. I feel like even like to make it personal for me, I feel like when I look back at my relationships and I look back at like the bad and the good in things, I feel like dealing with some people I've dealt with, like even men like that I've dealt with, like they could express themselves in certain ways. And, sometimes I look back and be like, okay, how could I have been a better person for them to feel comfortable, to talk to me? Because I feel like I've always been an open person. Be like, hey, like, talk to me. Like, it's never, I'm not going to judge you. I'm not going to judge you. I'm not going to make you feel some type of way. But I also want to ask, like, what if, like, that's not enough for him? You know what I mean? Like, what if it's, like, just saying, hey, I'm that person for you? Because sometimes it's not enough. Some men have been through a lot, especially Black men have been through a lot of trauma. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes I feel like not necessarily force it, but you kind of have to push them a little bit.
I am a big advocate for therapy. Mm-hmm. Some people don't want therapy, but I believe that therapy is a very powerful thing, especially when you find somebody who shares the same ideas as you, because some therapists will not share the same ideas, and you have to find the person that you mesh with. But there are a lot of resources now, like online, on campus. Also, I feel like there needs to be better tools for on-campus things. I don't know if this is true, but I heard that Morehouse students only get one free therapy session.
I heard that too.
And I don't like that.
Yeah, especially because they need a lot.
No, because I know some men who say like, oh, like I just talked to my cousin.
Some people don't even talk to anyone though, which is crazy.
And that's not therapy. Yeah. You need therapy, or you don't need therapy, but you need an outlet to be able to express yourself. And someone who has been trained and has gone to school for this and knows exactly what you need is a very big deal. Like, especially my psych major, shout out to y'all. Just if me coming to you is not enough, I feel like just like nudging somebody and never like being like, oh, you need to go to therapy, but saying like, hey, like there are other outlets. Like if I'm not somebody that you can talk to, there are other outlets.
Right. No, I agree 100%. Okay. So speaking of campus, what about Spelman? What other tools can Spelman use to help, you know, the women on campus, like mental health? I know we have counseling.
Wait, like for us or for them? For us to them. For us to other men. Wait, for us to
just for us.
Okay. You know what I mean? Just for us. I've never been to the counseling center. I was supposed to make an appointment.
I went to two.
Was it?
It was it wasn't bad. I mean, yeah, it wasn't bad. I mean, the second one that I had, she was very helpful. She was very helpful actually. But like I said, I've only been twice. I don't go like every week, so I don't know like if it's really helpful for everyone. Like I know it kind of guided me somewhere, but sometimes for me, like with therapy, it's telling me things I already know sometimes. Yes. And so it's like for me, it's like, you know,
the biggest thing I need, because I feel like I'm self-aware about things.
Yeah.
It's just actually taking the initiative to do it. Mm-hmm. So like I'm very self-aware that let's say I have this problem, we can write out the plan for me to stop doing this, but I just need to take the initiative.
To actually,
so having an accountability buddy, I feel like is very big. Like making a plan and then somebody holding me to it is a very big thing. So I just feel like, because an accountability buddy, like within your friend group, like maybe a family member, that is something that like really helps me personally, like just with prioritizing my mental health. So I saw like my friend who has set up the 236 every day. She'll be like, so 236.
And that's good. That's why it's important to surround yourself around people that are healthy, because if you don't, you just kind of drown. So
yeah, and that's why you need to like lean on your community and still be careful with your energy and like who you are sharing certain things with. Mm-hmm. But you know your people, and you know the people who. It's just a feeling, you know, when somebody is actually
someone's genuine.
Yeah. And like even if that's not somebody who you're close with, I know like some people on campus, like I just like the way their energy is. I feel like if I was having a bad day, they would listen.
Yeah.
And it's good to be that person for people because you never know what people are going through. It's very good to keep that in mind. Mm-hmm. Because just because you're having a good day does not mean everybody is. So being that person to lean on, but also still prioritizing your energy. I'm not saying suck up negative energy, but put good stuff out into the world because we need it.
Okay, Micah, spell that word. Okay, so another question. What do you believe is the root cause of most Black men struggling with mental health?
It's all societal. It's not all societal, but a big part is societal. But based on society, it comes from, for one, like generational stuff. Like if your great-great-grandma, if your great-great-grandparent taught your great-parent, that taught your grandparent, that taught your dad, that taught you to not have emotion and to not be somebody who is emotional. And even like childhood trauma things, just like kind of like some trauma, we don't realize we have it until you kind of step back and go like, dang, I do that. Like, oh, I hit the mic. Like, sometimes, like one thing I struggle with, and I realized it's kind of like a personal thing is like any sign of being ignored, I like freak out. Like so they hate me.
Is this a Sagittarius thing?
I don't know. I think it's
because I feel the exact same way. Like
I think it's kind of childhood thing because like sometimes a way for people to show me that they were upset with me, like adult wise, was for them to ignore me. And so now like when people are ignoring me, like I think I did something wrong, and I'm getting better at it because I've taken the steps to go to therapy. I'm not currently in therapy, but when I was in therapy, this is something I realized. So like today I had a friend and I was like, "Are you mad at me?" She was like, "No." Yeah. I was like, "You sure?" Because like we've talked, but it was just like she wasn't in my face the whole time. Like, you know how like sometimes like people kind of like step back and then I'm kind of like, what's going on? Yeah. And that's why reflection is also a big thing when you are considering your mental health. Just taking the time to meditate, think very intentionally about the way you receive things and the way you respond to things. Because sometimes we don't even realize that we respond certain ways. Like I've gotten better. If I like say something that I know is kind of like snappy or rude, like my brain immediately goes like, hold on now. And I'm like, you're right. And then I kind of like try to take a step back. And I also have learned sometimes I'm not going to be my best self. So like when I don't eat, I'm not my best self. When I don't get enough sleep, I'm not my best self.
So when you're not prioritizing you, and that's exactly what we talked about actually at my chapel retreat yesterday, is that you have to prioritize. Yes. I can't speak. Prioritize yourself in order to be a better version for everybody else.
That's one thing I say. You can't give love if you don't have enough for yourself. Right. Like if you don't have it, self-love is important. And just if you are not okay mentally, you can't be there for somebody else, no matter how bad you want to. If you aren't all there, you have none to give. Yeah. If you only have one slice of pie and you're hungry, you can't split it up and give it to everybody. Oh. And if you do, everybody's gonna be hungry. Everybody's gonna be hungry. No problem. If you have one slice of pie, right, and you're hungry, and so is everybody else, but there's a grocery store down the street, let them go get some pie for themselves. That's okay. Mm-hmm. And it's okay to say no to. Sometimes when you need to prioritize your health and your well-being.
And even being a friend that knows a person, like I have a friend, and like I know she kind of struggles with saying no. You know, like she's like very nice and she wants to make everybody happy, but it's also good to be a person that knows that about that person. Like for me, like if she says sure or she says like I will see, like I know that her answer is pretty much no. So I try to be like, hey, it's okay. You know, like if you don't want to do it, it's okay, girl. It's okay. We can keep it light. It's not, you know. I feel like also with me, I want people to tell me their honest answer. Tell me how you feel. Like you're not gonna hurt my feelings. I promise you. Tell me how you feel. You know what I mean? Like being blunt about things, because I'm a blunt person. I'm gonna tell you how I'm tell me how I feel regardless. But yeah.
Yeah. What did you just say?
You're what?
No. I was gonna say something based on what you said. It's good to have people that know you. Mm-hmm. Because once again, back to community. Hey, back to like just having people that you can lean on. Mm-hmm. Yep.
I mean, anything else you want to add?
I want to add.
She was giving some word, baby. Come on, spill the night.
Yeah. Just reflect on who you want to be. Every morning you wake up, just reflect on your own goals. You don't have to write it down, but just being mindful about what you want to put out into the world, who you want to be, and how you want to get there. Mm-hmm. Because look into who you are and look into your identity and how you want to identify with everything around you, because that makes a big difference into how you are mentally, how you are physically, how you are spiritually, how you are between other people, and taking the steps to be the change you want to see in the world.
Choice to change.
Make a choice to change your world.
But also, like, one of my podcasts is Dose of Ashley. I love to pick my own personal experiences and things. And I feel like what she's saying, like, you know, like just doing something that makes you happy. Like for me, getting my feelings out is actually podcasting, which people are like, wow, that's different. But, you know, like for me, being able to speak my truth, that was the whole point of creating this podcast in general, speaking my truth, getting other people to speak their truth. You know what I mean? And so I feel like I'm in a great space. Also, I know the people that watched that last video? Not the last one I posted, but the one before that when I talked about self-love. I was in a bad place at that point, and I really wanted to be vulnerable, and I really wanted to talk about it. And so it feels nice to be here. I was just telling Micah, actually, before we even did the video, I was just telling her, like, I'm at a better place now. Like, it's crazy, like, how I was feeling so down at one point, and then, like, you know, a lot of self-growth, a lot of reflection, a lot of, you know, anything, you know, to help myself. And it's like I'm still in awe sometimes. Like, I'm still in awe, like, where I'm at right now. But, yeah.
And make sure you're celebrating where you are. Like, your journey is your journey and your journey alone. I don't feel my 100% best right now, but I still have come a long way. But I can't compare myself to Ashley because I don't know what Ashley's been through, and Ashley doesn't know what I've fully been through. So just loving yourself and keeping in mind that you are doing your best. And if you're not doing your best, make a choice to do your best.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like some people learn to love the journey. I feel like a lot of people's like, I hate that this is happening. I hate that this. I was one of those like people, you know, like, but I also like look to myself and like, if I didn't go through this, or if I didn't, you know, fight this battle, I wouldn't be in the place I am today, you know? So just kind of keep a positive mindset on things. Like, I understand some things gets hard. I get it. But, you know, pray if you're religious. Talk to friends. Talk to someone that you trust, you know?
And take time to learn yourself because that makes a very big deal.
Yeah, be one with self, girl. Go outside if you got to, you know what I mean? Do whatever you got to do outside. You know, I love nature, but nature hates me. I don't know why, but I love to go sit outside. Like, we used to do that. We used to go sit outside in the grass, just be one with nature. Nice. It is.
I sometimes want to like lay in the grass.
Literally just lay.
But put your sunscreen on though. Put your sunscreen.
Girl, Michael put me on sunscreen, y'all.
Put your sunscreen on. The UV rays, the amount of UV rays reaching Earth are increasing, and you don't want to be a wrinkly raisin when you're old. Put your sunscreen on. Hands especially, because your hands age faster.
Oh, period.
Yeah, that's why old people got really wrinkly hands. And if you get your acrylics done, that's UV in the gel thing.
Really?
Yes, that's UV. So either invest in some gloves or put sunscreen on before you get your nails done.
Yeah. Okay, that's how we gonna get it off. Yeah. But anyways,
take care of yourself.
Did I
take care of yourself so you can you can take care of the world. Take care of yourself so we can take care of each other. That's what you need to do.
What she said. Anyways, y'all, let's say thank you to Micah. Oh, period.
Oh, hey, I got some Ghana.
Oh, yeah, me and Mike went to Ghana together, by the way.
Yes.
That's how we met. Like, we
that
was, like this,
that was really good for my mental health, by the way.
Mine too.
Leaving the country, and also I couldn't text some people because, like, I didn't have service. It was great. I knew it was gonna come out. Anywho, yes, that was a step back, and I took a step back. I had time to reflect. I had time to remove myself from negative things that weren't serving me. I had time to work on new hobbies, really. I had time to work on language. Go
Mike, we should talk about this. Because I really felt the same way. Like I told you, last semester was terrible and I needed that. Like, I don't think people understand. Like, those 2 weeks did a lot for me. Like, it changed the whole entire world.
And I came back, my skin was glowing. I was happy. Like, I still look back on it and I'm like, oh, I was so happy. And I wish I could go out of the country every time I'm feeling down. Unfortunately, I can't, but
wait till we get that degree.
Look, just take a step back sometimes. Sometimes we just have to take a step back and take time for ourselves. And it's very hard to do that sometimes, like, in our, like, because you have work, you have to do this, you have to do that. But just taking, like, a moment for yourself. Taking 30 minutes for yourself.
Oh, yeah.
15, 10.
Even if you have to take, like
5 minutes just to sit down and be like, okay, let me breathe for a second. Because that can really change how you're feeling. That can really improve your mood. And our mentality is everything. Whether you realize or not, the brain is you. We have souls, we have bodies, but, like, the brain is what's running everything. And if your brain is declining, you can't function. You literally cannot function. If your car is switching the engine, how you gonna drive? Now you can't get nowhere. Now you can't pick nobody up. Now, see, hey, you better go to the car shop, fix that engine.
Right.
Think about your engine.
I love my sister. She was so brilliant. Anyways, like I said, thank you for watching our episode. I feel like we had a really great talk. I think we should definitely do one with more girls. Even men, you know what I mean? Like,
yes, I want to get a male perspective. I want to know about, because I feel like I can say a lot from me looking in. Yeah. This earring is bothering me. But I can say a lot from, get it real quick. Hold on,
I think so. Cut it out. But
okay. But,
I mean, yeah. I mean, I want men. Like, I was going to ask you if you had a friend, but I was trying to figure out if this was gonna work out first the microphones because it's my first time doing it this way.
Yeah.
So I wanted to work this out, but maybe we can do another episode one time when we're free and like have more people come in.
But yeah, that's one thing I wanted to say too.
Yeah.
I can say a lot as a woman looking in from a man's perspective.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I'm not a man.
Right.
And I need to know like what men need from me, you know, like what I can do to help you. And I feel like a lot of times, because I feel like sometimes there's a negative stigma around men due to their mental health, like, oh, he did me this way, he did me that way. But like, I feel like if we all work for our mental health, then we can have better relationships with men as well. Like, I feel like there is this thing like, oh, you know, there's no Spellhouse love story. And that's because it's because a lot of men just have never had the outlet, have never had that time to express their emotions. And so when they get around a bunch of girls, they don't know how to act. They don't know how to act. They've never been.
I've talked about my personal experiences.
And maybe they've been taught, but surrounding yourself with other people who don't know how to act can be very negative. Like, you can come from the best household ever. Your mother, she taught you right. Your daddy taught you right. But if there's negative energy and thoughts around you, sometimes you absorb those and you put it out.
That's why it's important to hang around people that are, you know,
and hold each other accountable too. Hold each other accountable. My friends have had to tell me before, like, all right, now that wasn't nice.
Pipe down, girl.
That wasn't nice. And I'd be like, you're right, that wasn't nice. That wasn't nice.
No, you do need people like that. You do. You need somebody that be blunt with you, like I said.
Yes, you need honesty. But also be honest at the right times. Don't tell somebody someone their dog is dying. Like, that's just mean.
Okay.
But
no. Let's not do that.
Like, there's a time and a place to say everything.
Right.
And learning when to communicate things and learning when to hold your sisters, brothers, siblings accountable. It's very important.
That's how you know your true friends.
Mm-hmm. Yes, your true friend will want to grow with you. Not bring you down, not watch you mess yourself up. They will want to see you grow. They have a special love for you that they want to see you get better.
I can't snap, y'all. Okay, but
yeah, I got a little.
Yeah, it's crazy how we click so easily. Like, isn't that so
crazy?
It's
the Sagittarius in us.
It really is.
Sag.
She's crazy. I'm crazy. It just matches.
No, it does. But I think you're a little bit crazy. I've toned down.
She always says, you say that in the gun.
I'm in retirement.
No, you're not. You should have saw her before this video. Anyways.
I've been on my best behavior.
She has, but she's just herself. And I love that. It's okay.
Be yourself. Be true to you.
Period. Because you meet crazy people like her and you just love it.
Yes. I love it. And it's so great when you can be yourself unapologetically.
Literally. I love every time I see Mike, I get excited. I'm like, oh my God, Mike, good.
No, I see her in the cat watch. I'd be like,
every time we live the same person. Sometimes.
But you're always leaving with your box. You never want to sit.
Yeah, I love sitting in my room. I don't know why. I love eating in my room. It's like so relaxing to me. I think it's like it's a way of me. Like I think it really is because I've been so busy lately. Like every day I have like tutoring and I have this and I have that. So I feel like when I get to sit down in my room, eat a box of food and watch a show.
Yes, and like being by yourself is important too.
Oh yeah,
being by yourself, and that comes into learning yourself and reflecting on who you are when you're by yourself. You can't do that when there's other distractions.
You can't.
That goes into relationships too. Like it's hard to get to know yourself when you're getting to know somebody else and putting your energy into somebody else.
Period.
I feel like there's a lot to be said about that. Okay, let me just say this to note this for the next episode. It is hard to love others when you cannot love yourself. Mm-hmm. It is hard to grow with others when you are being stagnant yourself and you're not thinking of how to grow. Like if you are like all the way back here mentally, don't find somebody who is doing very well for themselves and trying to like get into something, and then you end up pulling them down as well.
Oh yeah, I can
personally.
You know
what I'm saying? Yeah. And like if you know that you're not being your best self, don't put yourself in a situation that may cause you to affect others and to also.
So don't be selfish. Work on yourself.
Yeah, don't be selfish. Be selfish, not selfish. You know what I'm saying? Be selfish.
Literally.
Ish with yourself.
Right. Mm-hmm. Period. All right, y'all. We did good. That was a good conversation, y'all. But anyways, thank you for listening to this episode. This was great. But
we said.
Yeah. But anyways, thank you. And I love you. Peace. Bye.